Yeah, speaking of rare breeds of talent, we've got Ron Adame on the line right now. Coach, congratulations on your win last night.
Thank you so much, Jake. Thank you, gentlemen.
So, how does it feel? I mean, you guys came off a tough loss the week before, and you get this one. How does it feel?
Oh, a lot better than a loss, in the manner that we had last week against a really good Roma team. They just, it feels a lot better, to answer your question.
So, last night, it was a close game. I was watching it. Kevin was there at the game. What did you guys do? I mean, what did you say at halftime to kind of get your team over that hump, because it was so close throughout the entire game?
Well, we just told our boys, we continued with our game plan. There was no big or major adjustments. We had seen what was effective offensively and just, made decisions to not mess around with anything that hadn't gotten us positive yards. And, we narrowed down our menu or our play script to certain plays that we felt were there. Running wise, Pioneers got a real good run defense, and we had a hard time putting a pad on number 30, Joe Garza. He seemed to be all over the place. But we felt that we could throw the ball a little bit more effective than our running. Defensively, I thought we played well in the first half, but second half we cranked it up and ended up shutting them out in that second half. And so we just regrouped pretty much and just told our boys, hey, we're fighting for our playoff hopes. So keep battling and stay together and just, make sure that we find a way to come out on top.
How difficult has it been? I mean, you guys had never really experienced, this tough of, losing games. It's just tough. I mean, how have your guys reacted to that? I mean, it's something that they hadn't felt before.
Well, I mean, it's something that we're not used to, but, when you put everything into perspective, I mean, athletics is an opportunity to teach you about life, life lessons, and sometimes a ball may not bounce your way, and all we got from that is that we just got to work harder and we got to regroup and not let go of the rope and just keep battling and come together. Sometimes you learn more from losses, whether they're blowouts, whether they're close losses, than you do with victories, because you kind of evaluate what areas you need to get better at. So there's a lot to there's a lot to learn from a loss.
Going into that game, what kind of pressure was there? Because, I mean, it's a hometown game. It's a rivalry game. It's, those guys, I was at Edinburgh after the split, and, I knew that there was animosity between Vela and Edinburgh. I got to imagine, it might not be between the coaches, but there's got to be some animosity between the players.
You know what, Jake, as far as the pressure goes, I think pressure is something that individuals place upon themselves. I can speak for myself. I really didn't feel pressure. I just felt that we had a challenge. And as far as the rivalry goes, our senior group, these young men were teammates for 2 years of their high school careers. It was a rivalry in the sense that the game was pitted two teams from the same school district, but and the game was played hard. There was some hard hitting going on. I know I told we got together at the end of the game, both teams, and I told the Pioneer boys, I guarantee you our boys are going to wake up sore this morning. But at the end of the game, I mean, there was friendship. I mean, we're united as one, even though we're still two different schools. So it was a good night for the Sharyland community.
Hey, Coach, this is Jose Altuve.
How you doing, Jose?
Man, that's more than once that's happened to me. But man, Coach, just tell me, what is it like, to have guys like Seth Carter and Manny Campos, leaders on a young Rattler team?
It's invaluable, their presence, in the locker room, and these two young men were our only two returning starters. So, going into the year, it was no secret that these guys were going to be the nucleus of our offense, and they both quarterbacked last night, and the thing is, when they're in there, they're looking for each other because they know that they can count on one another. They've got that experience. They see things on the field and make adjustments on the field that, maybe most first-year varsity players can't do. But it's a blessing to have both of them. They're fine individuals as well. That's a bigger thing.
Coach, you've got Valley View, you've got Rio coming up. What do you guys have to do? I mean, those aren't easy games. Valley View's got one of the toughest defenses. They've got, from what I hear, one of the toughest front lines in the Valley. What do you guys have to do? I mean, you have to beat Valley View, you've got to beat Rio, but how do you get your team ready for those games, especially after a game like Pioneer?
Well, we've told our boys that our playoffs started after the Roma game because of the outcome and where we stood in the district standings, and so we told them we can't be looking a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead. We got to take it one week at a time, and right now we're sitting back and we're reflecting on last night's game, and right after our boys leave here in a few minutes after watching video, then it's on back to the salt mines and getting ready for Valley View. But we know it's going to be a battle. Those young men, they've got pride just like most other boys in the Valley and most teams in the Valley. And so they're going to be fighting for pride, and we know that we got to go on the road and play them at their house, and they're not going to lay down. They're going to be representing their school, and so we got a dogfight ahead of us.
Now, Thursday night, there's an incredible game. Rio played Vela. I got to imagine you were scouting that game. What did you guys think about that game?
Actually, you know what? We had our this was rivalry week here in Sharyland, so we had our volleyball teams play on Tuesday night. Our junior high programs played Monday night and Tuesday night. So Thursday, we had 2 freshman games that we hosted. So I was here with the freshmen watching them, and so I didn't get an opportunity to go watch Rio and Vela. But from what I understand, it was a heck of a game, and it could have gone either way. And that doesn't surprise me because Rio Grande City played Vela tough last year. So, those young men, they seem to rise to the occasion depending on who the opponent is. And they've found ways to win overtime games. I think they went into 4 overtimes with Valley View. I'm talking about Rio Grande City. So, those boys, they're contenders in our district.
Yeah, they've got some heavy hitters over there. I know Coach Longoria has done a great job over there. You've got Valley View, you've got Rio, but this team has consistently been that team that has made the playoffs. I mean, for a while, you guys had supplanted Harlingen as the darling team of the Valley. What do you guys need to do in the next few weeks to get ready for that first round game? I already slotted you guys into the playoffs. I know you guys can't do that, but everybody's kind of put you into the playoffs already. You guys are going to be playing a team in 32-5A. Do you guys look ahead that far, or?
No, we don't, Jake. I mean, we leave those predictions to you guys, and our biggest concern is not letting our boys get a hold of that media. I mean, sometimes it's inevitable, and what the expectations are, but we just got to remain focused. We got to remain hungry, and just take it day by day, preparation. The preparation day by day, and just we got to show up on game night and perform. Last night before our game, we reflected in the locker room before the national anthem, before we went out, and we looked at where we were and what we've been through. And, I told our boys, guys, we're going to be drawing from these experiences tonight at some point. And I think, I guess you could consider it a blessing for us to have been in close games. I think last night there wasn't a sense of urgency or panic when the game was 13-10 in the second half. I mean, I think our boys just realized, hey, you know what, we need to quit hurting ourselves because we had some penalties that kind of stalled or stopped drives, and if we could just get out of our own way, we felt that we'd be able to play up to our expectation. But we're just trying to make the playoffs. That's our goal right now. We're trying to make the playoffs, and every year is different. And we may not be the team that we were last year as far as racking up the win totals and whatnot, but we feel that we've got a darn good chance of making the playoffs. And once you make the playoffs, you throw all records out the window.
Oh, and you guys dominated last year. You guys dominated 32-5A. So I got to imagine you guys all feel good about that. But Coach, I do have a question for you because you've dealt with this before. You have seniors leaving you all the time. Well, we had a senior leave us in Tony Farina. He went over to Pan Am.
Okay.
How do you guys deal with that? Because right now we're kind of in limbo because he left us and we miss him so much.
Well, Tony's a good man and he's good at what he does. So when seniors leave, that's inevitable. That's something that happens year in and year out. And you hope that the individual or individuals that take their place learn from the individual that they're replacing, and you just bank on somebody rising to the occasion. Every year we talk about people that are players that are pleasant surprises that maybe we may not have expected them to perform quite so well, but they were given those opportunities and they rose to the occasion. And that's what we look at year in and year out. This year we've got 35 seniors. Last year we had 10 more. So when you take a look at it number wise, we're 10 seniors less, and every senior group is different. This particular senior group, they've been together since junior high, and they've won at every level. So we're riding their leadership, and we're riding their the example that they're setting forth in practice and in the locker room, and they've done a good job.
So what you're saying is that I've got to step up now that Tony's gone.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm ready. I'm ready to get behind center.
Or in the infamous words of David Gilpin, next man up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Hey, okay. I got to put this question to you. You've played both teams, and a lot of people have brought this up, and I know you're probably going to give me the PC answer on this, but who's the better team, Memorial or Vela?
Oh, that's a good question, and that's one that could be argued. They're both good. They're both good, Jake. I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd love to be on the sidelines watching that game, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know that's. I don't want to upset either one of those two coaches because they do a good job, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Both teams have explosive offenses. I think they're averaging well over 400 points. 400 yards a game, and I think they're up in the 40s as far as points per game. But it may go down to defense and who's got the tougher defense. And so if we look at it from that angle, I guess I would have to go with Memorial. Memorial's been one of the toughest defenses that we face, especially that front seven. They're tough.
And they got a running back that's okay, too.
They got a running back that a couple of people know about, but he's phenomenal. And from what I understand, he played some defense as well last night. So, those are game changers. People like Trevor Spates they change the momentum of the game, and they allow you to do certain things and open up other individuals because people are keen on him.
Well, hey, Coach Ron Adame, by the way, Sharyland Rattler. Excuse me, don't hit me, Coach. But we appreciate you stopping in on the show tonight. I hope you guys do well next week because we got you slotted into the playoffs, me and Selber already. So I hope you guys do well next week against Valley View and Rio on your last week. But we appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you so much, Jake.